Wow, more bad news for Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. It seems that Demetrius Andrade not up for consideration in case Canelo, Callum Smith, someone falls out. We'll find out who that person is. Salute, smash the like button. Let's get the likes up. Subscribe to the channel and stay tuned. Yo, what up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We definitely working. Cash App, $Boxing and let's get to it. Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. Man, you have to feel sorry for the guy. It was just announced today that John Ryder is the understudy, if you will. If this was a play, then Canelo is fighting Callum Smith this week, and we're in climactic times, tumultuous times with the Rona and everything. It was just announced on a Zoom call that John Ryder is, in fact, if one of the main event people, either Canelo Alvarez, I was born ready, or Callum Smith, if they test positive for the Rona or, get injured or whatever, can't make weight, the backup is John Ryder, which immediately made me think, what about the man you see on screen? Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. You see the post that says tall, black, and handsome, and he said he'd bring his sexy back, but he can't get a sexy fight. Demetrius Andrade has called out Canelo for years. His last fight just got canceled. It was about to get canceled because I guess at first his opponent, Dusty, was not on par with his weight. And then it got canceled. I forgot what they said, to be honest. I think they said he tested positive for Rona, something. So he was supposed to appear on the Daniel Jacobs Rosado card. And then that whole idea was scrapped. So it has me really thinking, what is DAZN, Rematch Room, and Eddie Hearn doing with this man's career? And I feel bad because Demetrius Andrade could be one. I don't know how he feels about this. This is just my opinion as a boxing fan and commentator. I don't know how if he likes how things are going, but he just had, all the big names have eluded him, and his career could end up being that of what could have been type of thing. He keep calling out Billy Joe Saunders. They had a press conference, the fight was set up, Billy Joe Saunders failed a drug test. That would have been the best name in a recent while for Andrade to fight. Then there was no pressure. Even when Billy Joe came over from a promoter that doesn't typically work with Eddie Hearn, which is Frank Warren, they still have never made this fight with Billy Joe Saunders. 2021, we don't know if they make it, but they haven't done it so far. And this is something that could have happened. In fact, they gave an opportunity, despite failing the drug test, for Billy Joe Saunders to get his belt back. The WBO or whatnot said, hey, you're first in line. You got first dibs. Andrade, he beat Walter Katandakwa for the belt, but since you're cleared to fight, we'll give you opportunity. Billy Joe Saunders moved to a different division, went to 168, right? Andrade kept calling him out. He appeared on the KSI and Logan Paul rematch card, things of this sort, and he never responded to the Demetrius Andrade call-outs with anything of substance, like anything that would warrant that's his direction. He's talking to Eddie Hearn to make that fight. Now, Demetrius Andrade, again, he fought a guy named Lucas Keeler right before this pandemic started in January. And you would think, just me, I'm not the smartest brother in the world, but you would think that a guy like Demetrius Andrade would be first in line for a potential understudy in the event that either Canelo, who just came back to DAZN, or Callum Smith end up getting ill before the fight. Because his last fight that just got canceled with Dusty, he was training for it and he was moving up to 168 for that particular fight. So you can see these are pictures from October, right before Halloween, October 29th, and you can see he's training and he's in shape. And he was already moving up the weight, so it's just less of a weight cut. Canelo says he's moving to 168. His team pretty much made that clear that they're looking at 168 now. And it made all the sense in the world. A guy who was training, who just was supposed to fight on the Jacobs card with Rosado, his opponent pulled out. He was already training. You know, if something comes up, because there's no guarantee that something will come up. But John Ryder, he just admitted that he is the backup. So it just goes to show me it's sad for Andrade, because at the end of the day, they're not even considering him. They don't even want to fight him. You know, they're not even trying to fight this man, like his style or whatever, but they're not trying to do nothing with him. You know, and it's just sad because everybody, including myself, remember the HBO days with Andrade, where top talented, skilled fighter, he didn't really get the best promotion and exposure. And people thought somehow, some way, being out of that situation, getting bought out of your contract with the smaller promoters or whatever, it would be different with Eddie Hearn. Jacobs has got some good fights. Jacobs fought under Eddie Hearn. He fought against, bigger fights. Derevyanchenko. He got the Canelo fight. He got Chavez Jr. He got Rosado. We can't even see Andrade versus Rosado. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's good? We can't see Andrade versus Chavez Jr. And then now John Ryder finally admits that he is the understudy should something fall through with this weekend's main event. So this goes to show me they're not really interested in putting Andrade in no top fights. And it's sad because it's like, why? You know, he's a top dude. He's a champion. You know, he was a champion at 160. He's a 2-division champion. And between Billy Joe Saunders, there's not an immediate pressure for him to get these fights. He got to fight Selecki, as you see in this picture, but after Jacobs beats him. You know what I'm saying? Why? How come they didn't give Andrade, let's say like Derevyanchenko after the Triple G fight? Charlo ended up getting that fight, and people respected the performance. But it's getting harder and harder in the window as you get older as a fighter, gets smaller and smaller to prove yourself. You know, you could become injury prone. You could lose the hunger. I mean, you got to keep in mind, guys like Andrade have likely, you see the skill set. They've likely been boxing since they were yay tall, since they were little kids. So it's hard to keep the passion for anything for 20 years and 15 years in a row, you know, staying disciplined, not drinking. I know some fighters drink, but I don't know exactly who drinks, and, you know, I don't know if Andrade drinks or whatever. But either way, just to remain focused and disciplined and hungry when you can't get, like, it's been a long time since he was in the U.S. Olympics. The Olympics only comes every 4 years. He wasn't in the Rio Olympics, you know, and we're about to have a brand new Olympics in Japan. So it's just sad, man, because Demetrius Andrade, he like when he was on HBO, I was like, man, this dude is highly skilled. He's clean cut. He got a good look to him. He can scrap his ass off. He can fight. He's skilled. He represented America, but nobody seems to know what to do with Andrade. And, you know, at this point, I don't know if Andrade is branding himself in the best possible way too. You know, I don't know. Maybe you have to do like Lada did with Canelo and jump on the stage and try to upstage him. I don't know. But all I do know is it's not good. And it just goes to show you that your own team, they're not looking out for you to get the big fights. There's no way you could tell me when John Ryder, coming off a loss to Callum Smith, so he had at the very least had a chance at a title fight with Callum Smith at 168. He lost. A lot of people think that he beat Callum Smith. I get that. But he's in line, per his own words today, he's in line to get Callum Smith again and another opportunity again, or Canelo Alvarez, which would be even bigger, of an opportunity. But meanwhile, this guy's fights keep falling apart. They're giving him people that we know he's going to wash, and they're not really doing nothing with him. And he said he was moving to 68. So why he got to fight Dustin Hoffman, whoever, at 168, but then you have a 168 fight, which is a hell of an opportunity, and you don't even give him consideration if something falls through. Like, you have to understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Andrade is even the first choice, but I'm saying just as an understudy, they won't even do that. They won't even let this man, creep in the unfortunate event that somebody tests positive with the Rona. And he's been training. So it's not like he wouldn't be ready, but they'll give that opportunity to another European fighter like John Ryder. It's very sad because I highly rate Demetrius Andrade, but he's becoming almost a forgotten about talent in the shuffle because Charlo's, they're doing Lions only shows and, having good fights and bigger events. And the same goes for other people. Guys like Caleb Plant, that's my dude. Caleb Plant, he wasn't even, I don't even think he was around when Andrade was fighting on HBO. You know what I'm saying? And if he was, like, I'm not saying he wasn't around, like he wasn't boxing, but what I'm saying is his profile was very minimal at best. It was, he wasn't a known about. But now you're starting to see guys catch up and pass Andrade, like where we didn't even, when Andrade was fighting Vanes Martirosyan, I'm pretty sure I didn't even know who Caleb Plant was at that particular time. And that's my guy. So no offense to him, but what I'm saying is now he's in line for the big fights. Caleb Plant came pretty close to getting a Canelo fight, at least according to the rumors. And he's building his brand, he's building his empire, he's a champion. So it's like all these other dudes that Charlo's, that's another one. And it's funny because Terrence Crawford's kind of in the same boat. Like, we knew about Crawford and we knew about, and they're in the picture together, and we knew about Andrade probably around the same time. They were both killing it, two talented, skilled black African-American fighters on a big network, the biggest boxing network at the time, HBO. And now you're seeing Crawford kind of get passed up by Errol Spence, who hasn't been bubbling as long, hasn't been marinating as long as we've known Crawford. Or same thing with Andrade. Andrade was fighting Vanes Martirosyan. I didn't even know who Caleb Plant was. I wasn't even really familiar with the Charlos. But now you're seeing, based on branding and good fights and, the evolution of everyone's individual career, you're seeing these guys get bigger opportunities. Jermall Charlo just fought Demetrius Andrade. Jermell Charlo, just a guy that Andrade was scheduled to fight and he pulled out. Jermell Charlo, look how his career's been. He just unified and looked sensational. And this is who Andrade fought for a title. This African dude. Try again, motherfucker. Do you know who you're dealing? No, I do not have no receipt. Bro, he just fought some random African dude. Because Billy Joe Saunders, it's not his fault, but it's the reality. He had to fight some random African dude. Try again, motherfucker. Do the he beach dance. This nigga. Because Billy Joe Saunders failed a drug test and they never gave him Saunders ever again. Canelo Callum Smith fighting this weekend, and he's not even in consideration if something comes up. Like, hey, stay safe, keep yourself indoors, keep training, stay in shape, Andrade. If something falls through, I'm gonna call you. They're gonna give the call to a European fighter, per usual, John Ryder. So Eddie Hearn's taking care of his people back home. Another English fighter get the opportunity, and he doesn't seem to know what to do with Demetrius Andrade. Crazy. I don't know. I don't know how Andrade feels about it, if he's content, but I'm not content for him, if that makes any sense. I think he's too talented, too skilled. Like, bro, look, he's in shape. He's clean cut. He's a talker. you know, at least when he wants to be. He's a U.S. Olympian, and he's a champion. He's a 2-time champion. He never get the big fights that he wants. Man. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Also, sign up for ESPN Plus using my link, ESPN Plus. They have a ton of original content, docuseries, documentaries, archive footage, and more for your viewing needs. ESPN Plus, as a standalone, is $5.99 a month. You could also get the bundle ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus. And just know they announced some new shows for Disney Plus, like the new season of The Mandalorian and Loki, some brand new shows coming. So you don't want to miss out on that opportunity in that bundle. Some great content. Get that ESPN Plus bundle using my link in the description box of all my videos. Let me know what you guys think when it comes to Andrade. Definitely a great fighter, but he just, like I said, it could be an issue of what could have been. The man's in shape. The man can fight, but he's just not getting the looks. He's never getting the alley-oop. Look, never getting the alley-oop. But Billy Joe Saunders came close to getting a Canelo fight. John Ryder just told you he could get a Canelo fight if something falls through, or Callum Smith rematch. Callum Smith's getting the fight, but this African-American fighter, Mr. Tall, Dark, and Handsome is what he calls himself, he never even in the conversation. He never heard no Canelo serious negotiations and we're on the last stage or we're about to announce Andrade versus Canelo. Sad stuff, man. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.